the real reason for gun buybacks, how the left indoctrinates children to fear guns, and Trump works the fryer at McDonald's. This is The Loaded Mic, and I'm Dan Was.
This is a journalist named Chauncey Bailey. We can't show you his face. It was blown away by this man's 12-gauge shotgun. Unfortunately, the murderer never should have been there. He should have been in jail. Broussard previously was convicted of brutal assault. San Francisco's liberal DA Kamala Harris put him back on the street instead of in jail. Now, Harris has blood on her hands.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
With police officers on hand to take guns into custody, the gun grabbers hand out a measly compensation. Groups have tried to offer money for guns in an attempt, as they claim, to get those dangerous guns off the streets, but they failed in accomplishing any real results. What typically happens is those who already fear guns and hate the idea of gun ownership will show up with some non-functioning relic that's been collecting dust and rust in the basement to exchange for $50. They leave feeling like they've done their part in saving the world, and the money's gone that afternoon after a trip to Chipotle. Or worse, as has happened several times, Nana brings in those old things that Grandpa had in the attic since he got home in 1946, and another valuable piece of American history is destroyed in the name of liberal ideology or insanity. Occasionally, gun owners will exchange junk and use the buyback money to invest in newer firearms or more ammo. If only the anti-Second Amendment radicals knew about this. I always question the motive of the buybackers because their methods spoke louder than their results. What I mean is the media hype always presented these buybacks as a huge event that would really make a difference in solving the problem of their so-called gun violence, while producing next to zero attendance. So why do they really do gun buybacks? Well, we know it's not to take guns off the streets because time after time they've failed. Kamala Harris has said publicly that she would support a mandatory gun buyback, which is really a confiscation. There are multiple reasons for so-called gun buybacks, and we're going to talk about those on the show today. Now, this was a segment from my book, Good Gun, Bad Guy 3. For more Second Amendment content, please check out my Good Gun, Bad Guy book series at goodgunbadguy.com. So we're going to talk about this and many other things with He's So Smart, I Can See His Intellect from My Backyard, John Chiara. And he doesn't have a backyard, but he has attended cookouts at his neighbor's house, Anthony Diso. Nothing out of Anthony. We didn't get nothing out of it. I didn't even get a chuckle out of him for that.
Only a part-timer.
Only a part-timer. Oh, man. So we're talking about gun buybacks. I'm sure you guys have heard of them.
Stupid.
Seen them. What are your thoughts?
Stupid. Like you say, it doesn't really get real guns off. There's no gang members turning in their guns for $50.
Right.
Tools of the trade, you know.
I look at it like they have reasons. One is to demonize guns by showing people who don't know any better that they're so bad, the government's willing to pay for them just to get them off the streets.
It's like cash for clunkers, right? Same kind of thing. Here's a car that's not good for anybody. We'll give you money for it. Go ahead. Turn it in. It's stupid.
Exactly.
Signaling. That's all it is.
Anthony?
Yep.
Nothing?
Well,
Why is he so quiet today? What's up with him?
I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you. Might be a public service. Somebody I know was looking for a slingshot the other day. I swear to God, he was looking for a slingshot. So I went to Dick's. I couldn't find a slingshot anywhere. So we're places online.
Anthony's got a slingshot. I'll put a hole right through your cranium.
With a laser sight on it. Squirrel killer. Anyway.
Well, they also do these so-called gun buybacks because it makes the government look like they're doing their part, to keep people safe. It's so silly, but you get, like I said, you'll have people who have an old war rifle that could be valuable,
right,
and they turn it in for $50 or a stupid gift card.
More than likely, though, some old 38 that's been laying around for 30 years, 40 years, and like you say, in the basement, in a box someplace that their grandfather left or something. Oh, look, here's money.
Well, I know gun owners have actually turned in old frames and things that just were useless.
At least they know what they are.
Right,
Not
exactly.
thinking they're doing something to save the world.
Old revolver frames and
Right.
stuff that just won't function or whatever. They try to get people comfortable with the idea of handing in guns too. That's a big part of this whole thing. The gun buyback is to get people actually take the action of turning guns in, turning them in.
Make it into a good thing, right?
Right. Exactly.
Terrible.
Exactly. And, it's basically normalizing the act of confiscation.
Sheep. Bad. Bad, I say.
The point, I think, with this whole gun buyback thing, though, is that you can't buy back something you never owned. So, in other words, the government never sold me the gun. How can they get off saying that they're going to buy it back? They never gave it to me in the first place. And then when you get into Kamala in that clip, can we bring up that card again? That photo? So when you get into this stuff, where she's talking about mandatory buyback program, what the hell does that mean? That's confiscation if it's mandatory, right? It's not an option. So she would demonize a certain gun, probably the AR-15 or semi-automatic or what they call so-called assault rifles. Demonize those, get them under legislation, and be able to do a mandatory buyback. In other words, you have to turn them in. It's just a confiscation, just a pretty way of saying confiscation. So, that's...
Well, they're willing to pay at least, right? That's how they're going.
Yeah, they're
Get to make money.
They
do
did
the
it,
right thing.
They did it in Saratoga Springs, New York, and it was like they give you like a $50 gift card or something stupid.
They used to do it every year in Albany, right? The one pastor guy there used to do it every year. They had the gun buybacks, and they'd get 30 or 40 things turned in, right? Thinking they're saving the neighborhood or something.
Well, in the second half of the show, I hope people stick around for the second half because I'm going to talk more about what they did with children and how they're trying to indoctrinate children with respect to these so-called gun buybacks. It's a pretty interesting story. Happened in New York State. So we'll get to that a little later in the show. I want to talk about one of our sponsors. Speaking of guns, this device here, the Cali Key, removes your AR from the definition of assault weapon. So when these so-called assault weapons lists are created, they exclude manually operated bolt-action firearms. So just by dropping this Cali Key into your direct impingement AR in place of your semi-automatic BCG, you will have a bolt-action rifle that falls outside the definition of assault weapon. So you don't have to do anything else. So give the Cali Key a look because with it, you could retain all your rifle's features, avoid registration complications, revive your black rifle sales if you're an FFL, regain the ability to do private party transfers, legally transport across hostile jurisdictions, hunt with your AR in places like Pennsylvania, enhance long-range precision and quiet or suppress shooting. The Cali Key has state-specific expert attorney opinions on its website and supports grassroots Second Amendment organizations with its sales. Cali Key's mission is to empower customers and claw back our civil liberties. So go to calikey.com and use the discount code LOADED. All right. What else? Before we get into the show here, what else you got? Anything else on your minds?
I went to the big Trump rally in Amsterdam, New York yesterday.
And?
Pretty exciting. Got some free hot chocolate, free pizza.
Well, tell us about it. Was there a lot of people?
We had 1,000 people there.
And this was the sticker mule guy, right?
He's the sticker mule
made
guy,
national
right,
news.
Sign. He's creating a park there. And he's also creating like a bronze Trump statue for next year.
You mean like the Rocky statue with
well, with just one hand up from getting shot in the ear, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But that's what, and it's gonna travel around the country, I guess, and they're gonna take it different places and do things with it. So
wait a minute, who's building this thing?
Anthony Constantino. He's gonna construct this. He commissioned somebody to design this statue, and they're going to make there was a big video on it there. They're going to take it, and put it on tour, basically, take it around the country.
Is it life size or larger than
I think
life?
it's bigger than life size. Yeah. I think it's bigger than life size.
So I'm assuming there was. Oh, wait a minute. We do have one picture of you at the rally. I don't know if you knew that.
I know. There you go.
There he is.
Can you get fries with that?
Is that actual? I wonder if Trump is actually that tall. Is he that tall?
Probably, yeah. Probably 6'3" or so. Yeah. That's cool.
And so a lot of trucks with Trump flags and everything.
Well, there was no trucks there because it was all sealed off. You had to walk into the event. It was right downtown Amsterdam, right near the waterfront by the mills, where the old mills were, which is pretty interesting because you see he's got his new sign up in his building, which is all painted and all nice, and then you look right next door, and there's a whole slew of all the abandoned mills from Amsterdam, all the rug mills and stuff that were there, and all the windows are knocked out and stuff. So they're trying to improve the neighborhood, but he's going to build a park there. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be, but it's going to be a place where, and then they had 2 or 3 cyber trucks there. And you can go down. They're going to leave the cyber trucks there, so you can go and stand on top of them and get your picture taken and stuff.
Were they stainless steel?
Yeah, they were. I think they were.
Or were they painted?
They were wrapped.
Wrapped. Okay, probably wrapped.
They were wrapped orange.
They were all orange.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. But it was, it was cool. I saw. Actually, that's my hometown, but I knew like 3 people there. But I met some interesting people, and it was good. It was fun.
So overall, the mood was good. Everybody was friendly and happy.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Typically
There's
the way
free
it is.
pizza. What's not to be friendly about?
I heard that guy Anthony. I don't know him. I'd like to meet him. Maybe even get him on the show. But I heard that he did another event where he bought everybody McDonald's or something.
Yesterday, he brought after the pizza ran out. He brought McDonald's. I didn't get any, but they were giving every person a pizza.
I mean, he's spending some serious money on these things.
Time.
How many people? 1,000?
Right, 1,000. They only had 600 pizzas. They gave them all away.
So you got how much is a regular meal at McDonald's?
$10.
So
he would know. I don't know.
Times 1,000
plus appetizers.
Anthony's out. Don't pick on him today. He's volatile. He looks like he's volatile.
He hasn't smelled enough tar this week. That's
So retarded.
But okay, so $10 a meal times 1,000. $10,000 bucks. Right there.
Even $10 a pizza, 600. A lot of pizza.
He's a billionaire, I hear. Danny Wass Jr. just told us.
I don't know.
Are you on? Are you on the microphone? Can everybody hear you? Oh, okay. So he says he's a billionaire. So sticker mule.
Well,
get on the mic. Get on the mic. Tell us what you know.
The company. All right. His father died. The mother took over the company, and the mother gave the company to Anthony. I believe that's what happened.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
That was noteworthy company.
The sticker mule guy.
Sticker mule.
Oh, okay. I thought
Trump.
you said Trump was like. I'm like, yeah. Well, he's a.
Yeah.
He's a billionaire.
Oh no. So the sticker mule guy's not a billionaire. Okay, let's correct that. Sticker mule
Got
guy's
a lot of
not.
crap going on. Let me tell you, he's got stuff going on everywhere. It's just like, well, that's what he's into. He's not into making a lot of money for himself. I think he's into doing what he thinks is the right thing. So, more power to him.
Well, I mean, if anybody knows him or has contact with him and they see this show, maybe help him. Help us connect with him. We'd
We're
love
friends
to.
on Facebook.
Okay, well, let's try to get him on the show.
Comments on
Maybe
my
we can.
stuff sometimes.
Maybe we can get him on the show. That would be real interesting, especially right now, before the election, or we can talk after the election. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
Talk about what he's doing with the big sign, because he's known for the big sign. We're going to show a picture and post here.
All around the world, right?
The big vote for Trump sign, right? And on the top of the building, and then I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, but the city decided that it was an obstruction of view to people on the highway, or it was a distraction, right? Was that the word they used?
He says there's cities assuming that people can't look at a sign and don't know how to drive.
Well, not only that, but you're driving down the road and you got these lit up billboards everywhere, lit up and changing pictures.
And there's been a sign on that building for 70 years.
Yeah,
it's been up there forever.
So all right. Well, maybe we'll even give put a link in the description here to Sticker Mule and get people over there, because from what I understand, Anthony, he's doing some good stuff.
Shirts.
Can you see that? $5 shirts.
Free online, I think.
Oh.
You have to pay. Well, they're sponsoring Crowder now, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we got to get him on the
They're
show.
hooked up. Somebody's got to do something. You know what I mean? And that's the thing.
Yeah.
At least he's showing that if you're willing to put yourself out there and do it, you can make an impact. That's the good thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay. Oh, Anthony, we're gonna have to get him out of his shell this morning.
Need some coffee.
Is it still morning? It's not morning anymore. But he's got a story. Anthony's got a story. I don't know if we're gonna get him to talk today, folks, but let's put the camera on Anthony. All right.
What are we talking about?
I don't know. You wanted to talk about how the FBI quietly updates the crime data.
Oh, yeah, you got
Oh
it.
God, that's so
Yeah. Old rat face Hokel lying again.
At it again.
Yeah. Only 5 murders this week in Albany.
right. Big shootings, right?
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Crime's down, she says. She doesn't say anything about Albany, though, but she tells us that Long Island's down 18% and Suffolk's.
Well, good. They picked the places
They're
where
all-
it's down and talk
All
about
places
that.
that have $250,000 salary police department. Of course, it's going to be down. But Hudson Valley, she said Rockland's 26% decline. Come on. New York, really? Brooklyn's down 3.5%? It might be up 35%. Decimal points in the wrong place.
Is she doing the same thing they were doing at the national level, the FBI? Because we have a clip coming up.
No, she's just saying that her New York State's crime is way down, and she's full of crap. She's full of crap.
Well,
It's not down.
well. Plus, if it is down, it's nothing to do with her. It's probably down because people are moving away.
Well,
there's less
here's-
people to
you
rob.
You want to see what she's spending all of our money on? So
let's see.
$36 million went to gun-involved violence elimination, the GIVE initiative.
So just to get rid of the guns, not do anything about the criminals.
Right.
Okay.
21 million to the SNUG Street Outreach Program. That's the guy in Albany.
And everybody should know, let me just jump in real quick, that when she was first appointed by the disgraced Andrew Cuomo, she was appointed to governor's office. The first thing she did was let 191 criminals out of Rikers Island.
Yep. Now she put $18 million to the Crime Analysis Center to analyze, compile, and distribute information, which is useless. $20 million to Project Rise, a unique funding model that convenes community stakeholders to respond to gun violence.
Again, with the gun violence.
And then, the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services, they're getting a ton of money. It's like, okay, well, how are you going to stop crime? Where's the crime? Where's the crime stopping here? I don't see anything that has anything to do
Where's the crime?
with stopping criminals.
Because they don't want to stop the
No.
criminals.
She's just giving money out to people who want to take everything from you. But she's not giving money to any program that's going to help people stop doing what they're doing.
Built some basketball courts or something.
But she got on TV and she just basically lied to everyone in New York State. And she called what they call law enforcement. Stop listening to law enforcement like Craig Apple and all that because they're saying that crime is ridiculous right now.
The police don't know anything about what's going on.
She's like, don't listen to the can't even think of the word she said, but she said they're not telling the truth.
No.
But she is telling the truth because she always tells the truth, right? Old rat face.
I think we should get a DNA test from her and see if she's part Venezuelan or something. Letting the criminals out of jail.
Or rodent.
She looks more like a rodent.
Mean.
Vermin. She's
Vermin.
part vermin.
She's Botox in that face. She's gonna start
She's a
looking like
varmint.
she's putting Botox in that face. I don't know.
Speaking of Botox, I saw 2 people this week, one in person and one in a picture, both females, sorry to say, that they had a before picture and an after picture, and I'm like, oh my God.
And the
Talk about
before looked much
collagen
better.
and stuff, and just weird. And one of them was an esthetician who actually does skincare and stuff. And I looked at the picture, and I'm just like,
Did you see Sharon Osbourne?
no, what's she looking like these days?
Ridiculous. I mean, Ozzy's about 4 days from death, but she needs to stop putting stuff in her lips. She was on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this weekend,
I don't
Not-
get that. Why do they
not
think that that's
good.
attractive? I don't.
and she's lost so much weight on that new Ozpack garbage that you put on your body. You stick the
What?
thing to you.
Ozempic?
She's deathly, like, disgustingly thin, and she can't
I
gain
think
weight.
we need some pictures
And
of her.
you would
doing
not
gym.
recognize her daughter. She's so thin. Like, remember Kelly used to be like huge?
Yeah.
She used to be chubby, yeah.
You wouldn't recognize her.
Wow.
I didn't recognize her. I'm like, who the hell is that? But her lips, she looks like it's ridiculous.
She looks like she ate something
It's
and had
that-
an allergic reaction,
She
right?
looks
That's
like
how
a,
they
she looks
look.
like 100 beasts on her face.
Right.
It's that Hollywood syndrome.
And poor Ozzy is just, he's got Parkinson's. He's a disaster.
He's a mess.
He's a mess. He's up there shaking like this, and you got Jelly Roll singing Ozzy songs, and I'm like, it's so bad.
Yeah.
Like, he's a country singer. Why? And then you got the guy from Tool Maynard singing, and he sounds like garbage.
What's the world coming to?
The only one that sounded good was Eddie Van Halen's kid, Wolfgang.
Because he's good.
He's a good player.
And Zach Wild was up there rocking out. Got Chad Smith on the drums,
Cool.
but Jelly Roll was awful.
From Chili Peppers?
Yeah.
Chad Smith? Yeah, yeah.
Jelly Roll was awful.
That's too bad.
And Wolfgang's looking over. I'm like, you know what you're doing?
I don't know what the big hype is on Jelly Roll. I don't think he's good. He's good. I can't. I'm not gonna put him down, but he's just not that great.
I
there's
don't get it.
Catchy name, though.
He's definitely got his own look. He's got a unique look. That's for sure. I don't want to put the guy down because hey, I guess he had some criminality issues, and now he's good now, and he's got a successful career. So good for him. But I don't know.
But yeah, Sharon's got to stop.
I got to look that up.
Well, as far as all that Botox and stuff, I don't understand when some women create these enormous butts. What is with that? With these butt implants? Nothing?
Must be.
Have you ever
Must
seen
be pictures you're looking at, Dan, because I don't know what you're talking
Have you
about.
ever seen the butt implants?
I guess, man.
What is it? BBL, Brazilian butt lift. Can you believe that people are doing this?
No.
We're going to have to show some some photos in post. Are you on the microphone? Can people hear you? Your commentary? No. Okay, so they can't hear Danny Wass Jr. Just back to what Anthony was saying a little bit. Let's go to the national level on that for a second. FBI quietly updates crime data to show a big jump in the violence under the Biden-Harris administration. My friend John Lott has really been on this. He's been talking about this a lot. FBI released its annual crime in the nation data for 22 last year, which found a 2.1 decrease in violent crime compared to 21. Data was lauded by Democrats and the media as part of turning point for crime woes in the U.S. following the crime wave of 2020, which the liberals created. It says, now the data reflects a net increase of 80,000 violent crimes in 22 over 21. So basically what they're saying is the FBI releases this information. It's not true. Right. Then they have to quietly release new information showing. So I think we have a clip. I was on Chris Salcedo's show with John Lott, and we talked a little bit about this. So can we play that clip?
Just is revealing that crime isn't just going down, but reporting of crimes is going down. Explain the difference there.
All right, there are two sets of numbers. There's the FBI data, which the Democrats and the media want to point to, which counts the number of crimes that are reported to police across the country. And then there's the Bureau of Justice Statistics has what's called the National Crime Victimization Data, which gets at total crime, reported and unreported. We know most crimes aren't reported to police, and they have a truly massive survey of 240,000 people that they do each year. And before 2020, these two sets of numbers went up and down generally together. But since 2020, they've been going in opposite directions. And part of it is just due to the fact that people have lost confidence in the legal system being able to punish criminals. And so they're less likely to go and report crimes to police. If you look at 2022, for example, while the FBI showed a 2% drop in reported crimes, the National Crime Victimization data showed a 42% increase in violent crimes that year alone.
Thank you.
The crime went down under Trump and went up under Biden.
Well, Dan, the Democrats' promotion of lawlessness, their defund the police movement and the attacks on the law-abiding appear to be quashing the reporting of crimes. I think we're seeing that play out, don't you?
Yeah, well, Here's an example. When Kathy Hochul was appointed governor in the state of New York, one of the first things she did was let 191 people out of Rikers Island. Why would you do that if you didn't want to create a scenario where you made New Yorkers, and we're talking about Chicago, but any Democrat-run city, when you're making people vulnerable, that's the only reason I can see. And, Democrats always want this type of scenario because I think it helps them because it makes people dependent. Remember the virus. I mean, people were so scared. If you can make people scared with violence, and you can do it with a virus. Remember, people were walking down the aisle following arrows like kindergartners in the grocery store, adults, because they were so scared, and they didn't have the right data. So you can make scared people do just about anything.
True, it's true, and I think there is very much a fear component in all of this.
So, according to John Lott and the Crime Prevention Research Center, the crime was actually up 50%. They're reporting it as down because the FBI is wasn't showing all the. Actually, let me correct myself, because the arrests were down.
Right.
So cops weren't doing their job for whatever reason, whether they're told to or not. The arrests were down, and that's how they measured crime. Right. It doesn't mean crime went down.
My car got broken into the other day. I didn't call the cops.
Oh, really?
Well, what? I mean, it was no big. Didn't take anything.
Did they damage your car?
No, I think it was unlocked by mistake. The Honda Sense wasn't working correctly. But anyway, I think a lot of things happen. Well, it's the same kind of thing with defensive gun uses, right? If somebody breaks in your house and you pull your gun out and they run away, you're not necessarily calling the cops, right? Because there was no crime committed. It doesn't mean people weren't trying to commit crimes, and then not that they wouldn't have commit crimes if you weren't there with pointing your 9mm at them, So there's but that's the way with the whole country. Like he said, people don't have confidence in the government sponsored entities to do their job anymore. So people are rebelling in some way, and they're just not taking part in that. Doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yeah. Exactly, right. We're going to pick this up in a second, but let me go to one of our sponsors, LifeWave. LifeWave is a non-transdermal patch that allows your body to produce its own natural pharmacy through light energy. Now, the X30 patch tells your body to emit heat in the form of light, which reflects back into your body, elevating a certain copper peptide. This peptide activates your stem cells, which are the only type that can move throughout your body to heal inflammation. LifeWave offers an affordable membership, has a history of wellness that spans 20 years. It's been around since 2004 to help organizations like SEAL Team 6 and the Olympic swim team stay awake and alert. Today, these non-addictive patches are used by thousands of athletes and military professionals. LifeWave is available in over 80 countries, giving millions the opportunity of maximum wellness. For more information or testimonials, patents, and studies, go to justpatch.biz. So, John, back to what you're saying. Just like the defensive gun uses, there's reports that bring us up to around 2.5 million defensive gun uses per year. Okay, so we got several reports. And, but the thing is, those are just the ones we know about. It's like, there's got to be so many where a gun is pulled, a crime is stopped, and that's it. Everybody goes on their way. Right? Nobody ever reports those. So if there's 2.5 million reported, I would assume there's got to be at least another 2.5 million. Not, right?
But another thing that probably most Democrats have never even heard of. They don't know anything about that. Defensive gun uses, what do you mean?
Oh, right.
We have crime. People get arrested. They go to jail. I go, yeah, but there's a whole other world out there. Again, it's the same kind of thing with the elections. Oh, the ballots. Well, there's no evidence. We can't bring that into court. Yeah, but if you never look at the stuff, you're never going to find out what happened. So if you have people like judges or other people that are willing to say, well, that's got no standing, we can't look into that, you completely take away the discovery process that would show you what might be happening. But the only way to not care about that is to just believe whatever somebody tells you and not believe that there's anything going wrong anywhere, especially with the elections. It's like, how do you think that nothing can possibly go wrong?
Right. Exactly. Well, I mean, and just to make the point again on the gun stuff is they're talking about the 40,000 gun-related deaths. Well, take out suicides and take out law enforcement, good guys killing bad guys in the line of duty. Take that out, you're down to 17 to 20,000. And that's mostly gang members.
People that shoot people all the time.
Right. And it's condensed into like 4 or 5 cities across the country. This is where it's all condensed right in these locations. So you're talking about maybe 20,000 of those, but you're talking about 2.5 million or more defensive gun uses. So you take away guns from the lawful American citizen, and what's going to happen is those defensive gun uses are going to go down, and the gun-related deaths are going to go up because the criminals... Has to. All right. We're going to take just a very quick break. A lot of good stuff, especially this story about kids being indoctrinated in New York State to fear guns. Wait till you hear this.
The Cali Key removes your AR from the definition of an assault weapon. It lets you keep your rifle with all its features, avoid registration hassles, and transport in hostile jurisdictions. The Cali Key also lets you hunt in jurisdictions like Pennsylvania and enhances long-range precision shooting. Cali Key's expert legal opinions empower informed decisions, and sales help grassroots Second Amendment organizations. Cali Key is your tool to keep and equip your AR, empower yourself, and defend your civil rights.
Our founding fathers saw them coming over 200 years away. That's why they wrote the Second Amendment. Join us in the fight to preserve your gun rights and stop unconstitutional gun control. Gun Owners of America is the country's only no-compromise gun rights organization. Not only do we inform and educate, but we bring the fight to court and win. Your God-given right to keep and bear arms is our top priority. Become a member today and help us take back America. Join us at gunowners.org. Earlier in the show, we talked about gun buybacks and how they're used to push an anti-gun agenda, never resulting in any lives actually being saved, as the gun grabbers profess. In Hempstead, New York, local officials hosted a new and unique type of gun buyback during the Christmas holiday of 2018. So it was a little bit of a while ago, but it's reported to have begun in 2015. Okay, so now Hempstead officials believe that it's important to take those so-called dangerous toy guns out of the hands of children. So they rallied a bunch of little kids, 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds, and explained to them just how bad guns are. Now, the kiddos were also taught that even the plastic Nerf gun that Santa brought them should be turned in because, well, just because. Hempstead Village Police Department Lieutenant Derek Warner told WABC TV that parents could be putting their kids' lives at risk by gifting them toy guns for the holidays. He said toy guns can be a dangerous item to give your children. And then Sean Acosta, a former New York Police Department officer, reportedly told children earlier in that December of that year that he wants to make sure when you grow up, nothing happens to you. So here we have the mayor, police department, and village trustee of Wackytown all trying desperately to encourage kids to fear guns and convince them that even toy guns are dangerous. Never mind putting together firearm safety classes and help children gain a healthy understanding of guns. Never mind teaching kids to respect guns and use them properly and safely as they grow up. Never mind teaching kids about the Bill of Rights and how the Second Amendment was written to remind government who they work for. No, none of that. That's crazy talk. Let's indoctrinate them early on and build in them a healthy fear so they'll never want to own a gun and demonize those who do. So here's the irony, and here's also where the Hempstead hired employees get sinister. As it turns out, attendance to the Hempstead child toy gun buyback was not what officials had hoped for. Some kids showed up, but they weren't carrying super soakers or suction cup revolvers or anything. But many of them came empty-handed. So what would a good group of anti-Second Amendment radicals do? You guessed it. They lined the kids up and provided them with toy guns so they could wait in line to turn them in, just like in a real communist country. Yes, they provided the toy guns to those children who didn't have any so they could wait in line to turn them in. This is not about keeping children safe. It's about training them to be anti-gun. So apparently this group of city officials felt the need to manufacture a toy gun buyback and force the little children to participate in their insanity. This is a segment. This is also a segment from my book, Good Gun, Bad Guy 3. But here's a clip from that ABC 7 news broadcast. Watch this.
Well, a village on Long Island wants to teach children an important lesson about guns, and that starts with their toys. Right now in the village of Hempstead, they have a toy gun trade-in. Every child who brings in a toy gun will receive a new toy. Eyewitness News reporter Kristen Thorne has a story.
Saying no to guns is important, even toy guns.
But let's face it, for kids, toy guns are still toys. But maybe if you gave them a different toy, they wouldn't miss the gun so much. That's the idea behind a toy gun exchange in Hempstead.
The purpose is to offer a safe alternative to toy guns. We don't want the children playing with guns. Guns are dangerous.
Them said is no guns allowed.
For the next month or so, the village of Hempstead is offering to give anyone who turns in a toy gun an alternative toy.
We got to give them some sort of an outlet. And this might be an outlet because, you know, they enjoy Christmas, and this is something that they like. And if they can just take a little bit about this, it'll be great.
The village invited 50 kids to today's announcement. Some of the children were given toy guns so they could trade them in for the other toys being given out. The alternative toys were provided by Sean Acosta with the New York Toy Gun Exchange Program.
I want to make sure when you grow up that nothing happens to you.
So parents, if you still have Christmas shopping left to do, police say you should take a toy gun off your list.
Toy guns can be a dangerous item to give your children, and it's something that the police have encountered on the street, and the situations can be horrifically negative if there's a mistaken identification of a weapon.
If you would like to exchange a toy gun, call Hempstead.
So this happened a while back. Now, this is 2018, but still, isn't it? Who thought of this crap?
Well, first of all, it's obviously racist because everybody in the commercial is black.
Okay.
What the heck is up with that? What are you trying to say? All the little black kids need to put their.
Yeah, I
well,
didn't.
That's
even,
a good message.
I didn't even notice that, but I think you're right.
God. And that little girl with the green AR there. What's up with that? That's what she wanted for Christmas, I bet. Right.
She doesn't even know what it is. She's
Stole
like
it from underneath her brother's bed. Or
just
something.
give me that doll. Oh, these liberals.
So,
well,
just training, like you said. They're just training these people, little kids.
And
no
parents,
guns allowed in Hempstead.
Parents are going along with it.
We want you to be safe.
Because
put a guard at the school.
Because if you pull out that bright orange gun, the cop's going to shoot you. Well, if you pull out a bright orange gun and that cop shoots you, well, he shouldn't be a cop.
Right.
Unbelievable. It's just. It just goes to show you that it's really not about that. There's about indoctrinating kids, teaching them to fear guns, getting them. But here's the most important thing: getting them in the habit and feeling comfortable with turning something into the government. Right. Turn it into the government. That's the idea there. Get that muscle memory going. Turn that stuff in. Government's going to help you.
It's sick.
It is sick. Yeah. It's just they're saying toy guns can be dangerous item to give your kids. Just all the propaganda and using our children.
How are you gonna play cowboys and Indians with no guns?
Yeah.
Finger.
Exactly.
Painted orange.
Oh, I just watched a scene from Gran Torino the other day where Clint Eastwood pulls up where these guys were trying to harass this girl. He comes up and he goes,
yeah, with his finger, right?
And he reaches in and pulls out the 9mm, sticks in the guy's face, and he's like, it was pretty funny. Defensive gun use, that never happens.
I like that movie.
I agree.
It was good. Oh boy. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. It's just, it's pretty sinister, what they do there. It's pretty bad. But you want to know who's fighting for your gun rights? Gun Owners of America. Now, GOA is the No Compromise gun rights group, so I urge you to become a member at gunowners.org. What have they done? Well, GOA secured a preliminary injunction against the ATF pistol brace rule. GOA members submitted a record 85,000 plus comments opposing the ATF's universal registration check rule. They helped enact permitless carry in Nebraska, in Florida, and GOA secured victories in California, Illinois, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. They won 2 legal victories against the ATF's zero-tolerance policy, and GOA fought to overturn Joe Biden's ban on funding hunter education, shooting sports, and archery in schools. So with the constant attacks on our Second Amendment, we often ask ourselves, well, what can I do about it? And this is what you can do. You can become a member at gunowners.org and help us save the Second Amendment. All right, so toy gun buybacks bad for society because they're just indoctrinating kids, and then they're doing the adult gun buybacks too. So there's just a lot of stupid people. As Anthony would say, there's a lot of stupid people.
Stopping crime.
Yeah. So I just wanted to. I got a funny little thing. This guy, Sean Farish, who I really like from the Live from America network, he does this Trump it's what it was known for. He did these Trump impersonations, and he seems like a great guy. I love the network. I'd love to get the show on that network, but Sean is just he does the best Trump impersonation. If you haven't heard this guy, you got to watch this. We got a good clip here. Let's play that Sean Farish clip.
This is your favorite and future president, and I just wanted to wish a happy 60th birthday to the cackling comrade Kamala Harris. 60 years, what an accomplishment, not for you, but the rest of the world who's had to endure 60 years of your stupidity and incompetence. I wanted to wish you a happy 60th birthday and tell you that you look awful. I have to say that. I remember when I turned 60, I looked a lot better, and quite frankly, everybody knows it. I still look a lot better. My glowing complexion, they call it orange. I call it a glowing complexion. My beautiful hair, the golden waves of gray, and that's what they say. I still look a lot better than you, and I'm a lot older than you are, but I look a lot better. And I also wanted to say that since Thanksgiving is right around the corner and you have that turkey neck that you carry around, you better go hide and you better do it quickly. But if you're looking for somebody to get some work done on that neck, we call it a gizzard, I can get you a great deal. That would be my birthday gift to you. I'll beat you in the election and then get you a great deal to get some work done on that turkey neck. So happy birthday to you, Kamala. You're a horrible person. You are one half of the incontinent and incompetent administration, and we're going to fire you. You're going to be fired on November 5th, and we will take back our country. Thank you, and the best is yet to come.
Is he great? I mean, is that the best Trump impersonation you ever?
Looks just like him, too.
He does. I don't think he looks like him. You're being sarcastic. So anything else on the Trump rally in Albany? Any other highlights that you need to point out?
No, it happened, and the one thing is when you were on your way in, people were stopping you to ask you if you were registered to vote, to ask you if you knew about Proposition 1, I think it is, right? It's on the back of the ballot. There were people walking around informing people throughout the day, be aware of this, be aware of that, make sure you do this, make sure you know where your polling place is, make sure you know how to go vote. And they had a list of all the places locally that were opening up for early voting in that area, not around the complete
You're talking near
area.
the Capitol.
Yeah.
Albany, capital of New York.
Well, no, these are
Amsterdam, that's right. It's in Amsterdam.
West of Schenectady, yes.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Good. Prop 1 you mentioned. That thing is dangerous here in New York. It's all about tranny stuff and getting kids in boys and girls sports and allowing all this nonsense.
Right. So how do the women who are for women's rights go along with that?
I don't get it. You're for women's rights, but if you're a Democrat, you're supporting men infiltrating women's sports.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Anthony. Anthony's got to have something to say about that.
Mental illness. It's a mental illness. If you vote for Prop 1, you're mentally ill. Because it's basically taking parents' rights away from their children who want to change their gender in school. So if a 13-year-old says to the principal, well, I want to be a girl. Well, Mom, you don't have any rights to it because the kid can do whatever he wants.
People were accusing Trump, I saw today somewhere, about he wants to have you know, did he say somewhere, oh, they're doing sex change operations in schools, you know, and people are like, oh, how can you listen to this crap? He says, well, the thing of it is that if you just get by him being Trump and him saying it the way he said it, if the schools are talking to kids about sex change operations and not including the parents in the conversation, how is that a good thing? What is that? Is that a recipe for success? What the hell is going on there?
I guess I don't understand how these Democrats can vote for this stuff and think that it's okay to take the rights away from the parent.
Can't give him an aspirin. Can't give him a Tylenol.
But you can chop off
take
their
his wiener off.
Take his wiener off.
And then year 2, 3, 4 later, boop, kills himself because he ain't happy.
Can you imagine? Think about that. Growing up, you know, you make this awful decision, or your parents make it for you. Some of these Hollywood actresses are raising, who was it that had 3 boys, and they're all trannies. That just doesn't happen. That's
Jordan Peterson has stated the odds.
Madonna groomed her kid to be trans.
Yeah. And
Brad
then
Pitt's kid, the girl,
Really?
they groomed her to look like a boy, but now she's back to being a girl because she got away from those, you know, mentally ill idiots. That's what they do. They're groomers.
They're sick people.
I mean, a girl can't grow a wiener. We know this.
We know this.
You can't attach a wiener to a girl. Never going to happen. She's not going to pee through a wiener. But you can.
And you can't
turn
create
a boy's wiener into a vagina.
Right.
But just because the girl becomes a boy and she has a baby doesn't mean a man has a boy. Stupid.
Anyway. No, you're right.
They're all mental.
It's
I
some
see
sort of
Proposition 1 yes signs all over the place. I'm like, they put it in front of the no one. That's what they're doing.
They're sick.
Yeah.
Democrats are sick.
They're sick.
They're going for things that are just so awful and wrong.
And I saw a commercial.
Inhumane.
On liberal TV, because, you know, that's all I see now. I'm just ready to shoot my TV because I'm tired of seeing it. But Kamala comes on, you know, with her cackle, and there's a woman with a shopping cart saying that she can't survive in this economy because of Trump.
Because of Trump?
Really? And here, and I'm my other half's across from me, and I'm like, do you see the stupidity? Do you see the stupidity? I said, you're living in her economy.
Yeah.
I mean, that commercial, I said the commercial makes no sense. It absolutely made no sense.
But the Kamala campaign and the Democrats know that the people they're going for are the stupid ones.
Oh, yeah. Only a moron would believe what that woman is saying right at that moment.
That's what they're relying on
I
for this
can't get
election.
ahead because of Trump. I can't feed my kid. No, lady. No, it's the dumb moron behind you that you're supporting. Is that why you can't feed your kid?
It's really fascinating. It's just fascinating to me how in our society of 330, how many people?
Plus million, whatever,
Yeah. That we have a good portion, 25%, maybe even close to 40% or whatever of the population that will go along with this stuff and not critically think it through. All for tribal reasons. Maybe they want their team to win, or they just, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, they've been empowered over the past generation, especially by the media, to think that what I think is important and matters to the world, and I can be a part of the good part of the world. So once they're over that hump of believing whatever they've decided is the right side tells them, they don't have to be actively stupid. They just have to keep believing what they're believing, which your brain wants to do that.
Yeah.
I'm what I think is true.
Yeah,
That's the way it's got to be, you know?
Right. You want to believe that your beliefs are accurate.
Absolutely. And when you get constant consensus and reinforcement from the media on that, I mean, look at those little kids up there. Oh, I'll turn my gun in.
Yeah.
What? What are you doing? What's going to happen 10 years, 15 years from now when that person's ready to go in the army or something or whatever?
Yeah.
They're going to want special treatment. They're going to want this. They're going to want that.
Oh, they're already there.
Right. Well, it creates a whole nightmare of basically things that prevent, and this is the whole Chesterton's fence thing. You don't tear things down until you know all the reasons why that fence was put there. Who's it keeping out? What's it doing? Who's it protecting? You go to the military, and you got all these people that are maybe going into the military that have no idea what the military is supposed to be about. Rush Limbaugh used to say it. Military's for breaking things and killing people. That's what the military's for. They're protecting you so you don't have to do it yourself. They're the front line of protection. You want that as focused and as, well, purposeful as
effective,
possible.
yeah.
Right. Why would you not want that?
You want those guys to be a machine.
It's not a social experiment.
Now it's full of fairies and unicorns.
It's unbelievable. And then
it's cute though.
Another thing is teaching the kids like with the gun buyback and stuff, but also encouraging them and making them do these sex change operations when they're little. What happens when they actually enter puberty and the boy decides that he starts liking girls and he's got no wiener? Then what?
Well, he's a lesbian. Lesbian man.
It's a male lesbian.
It's such a disservice. It's so I don't even know what the word is. That
It's
you can
child
do
abuse
that
is
to your
what
kid.
it
It's
is.
child abuse, yeah.
Kids have all kinds of ideas in their heads when they're teenagers. You don't. That's why we don't let teenagers run the world. That's why we don't let teenagers vote. We don't let them drink. We don't let them
I
do
think
anything.
they need to
that's
raise the age
responsible.
of voting to like 21.
I agree.
Even 25.
I agree.
Anyone under 25, they're morons.
Only property owners.
They really are. Like you watch some of the videos of these idiots talking to what's his name there, the guy that sits in the chair and talks to people in the crowd.
Crowder.
Dude. The people that come up to that microphone that don't know anything.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing how stupid they are.
Oh, you're talking about Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk.
Oh.
I saw somebody else the other day, some video clip. I can't think of the guy's name, but he was talking at some university, and he was saying, yeah, heaven forbid you get to come to this country where you have all the freedoms and all the opportunities and this and that, and all these women in the crowd were going, oh, my God, he's terrible. I'm going to leave. I'm going to protest. I'm going to leave. And he's like, see ya. Not going to offend me.
All right, so let's move on. I want to get this story in. President Trump was working the fryer at McDonald's. So wearing a red tie and apron, this is a story from the New York Post. Wearing a red tie and apron, the former president served up some fries and political shade against his rival during a behind-the-counter stint at McDonald's on Sunday, which drew a monster crowd to the Feasterville Trevose fast food restaurant. McDonald's, long been one of Trump's favorites, his visit to the Golden Arches on Sunday doubled as an effort to reiterate his doubts over Vice President Kamala Harris's claim that she worked there in the 1980s. Let's just start with whatever clip you got there, the first clip. Do we have audio? This is a crowd outside of McDonald's.
Look at really what's happening. Look at the crowd over there. Look how happy everybody is. They're happy because they want hope. They need hope. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're going to give, much more than hope. We're going to take hope and make it fact.
Mr. President, you actually have worked at McDonald's now.
Now I have worked at McDonald's. I've now worked for 15 minutes more than Kamala. Okay, she never worked here. I've now worked 15 minutes more than Kamala, so worked at McDonald's. I'm going to say because she's lying, Kamala. That's why. Why would she lie? She shouldn't lie about it. McDonald's confirmed 4 times now she never worked. She never worked here. But let's not talk about that. It's an amazing business. It's an amazing country. And we're going to make America greater than ever before. We're going to do it. And it's companies like this. Look at the enthusiasm. I mean, that's thousands of people over there. They go miles back. That's incredible. So, look at that.
Look at this crowd. Look at this.
Some stupid liberal on Facebook was telling me that the crowd was AI generated. I go, only at Kamala's stuff.
Look at all those people outside of McDonald's.
Well, plus people were complaining today that, it was staged. Of course it was staged.
Yeah, the whole thing was staged. That was the
Obviously,
idea.
That's not the point, you know what I mean?
That was the idea. What else we got? I know we got a couple other clips there.
It's staged, but people came on their own free will. He didn't bust them in.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Look at all the fake news over there.
He's always got to get his fake news stuff in. Oh, okay, so here's Trump doing the French fries.
He does it better than the morons that work there.
I know. And look at the crowd. There's another shot of the crowd.
Now remember, they were bussed in, according to liberals.
Oh, God. Look at those people. Are you kidding? That's like 15, 20 deep. Lining the road. Imagine the business that those, the amount of business those businesses got. Yeah. This is what, if he doesn't win, they're cheating.
Oh, they're going to cheat. We know this. There's no way they're not going to cheat. Look at Atlanta. What they say, they're not going to count the ballots. They're not going to hand count them. Yeah. There you are.
It's set up to cheat.
Yep.
I hope the GOP has.
I hope so.
Something planned.
They're going to cheat. It's guaranteed.
He's got to win by enough that they can't cheat their way out.
Well, they're saying it's 63 to like 38% right now.
What's that?
Some places.
Polls.
Oh,
he's winning by a huge margin. Her credibility is gone.
The betting markets have him up too. The betting markets have him up at somewhere around 60 and her down in the 30s.
Yeah. So if it's that way, and then if she wins, no, it's.
But yet the polls.
Oh, the polls are garbage.
The polls are showing. Well, that's why they do the polls like that. I think because if they do cheat and they do win, they can say, "Well, the polls were close," so that it makes sense.
Well, the polls, as Scott Adams was saying, as you get closer to the election, the polls have to get more accurate. So all these places are starting to shift little by little, and the most accurate poll already has Trump up at least 5-6 points anyway.
Yeah.
So
in what state? Just all across, or
national.
Average
popular vote.
Okay. Oh, popular vote. Okay.
There's no way she can come win from that. There's no way. If she does, we know they're going to cheat.
It's going to be a controversy.
We know they're going to cheat.
They're going to cheat. Why do you think she's not campaigning as hard? I mean, what Tim Walz is, he was in Boston today. Nobody's going to be there. That guy's mentally ill. Do you really want that idiot running any part of this country?
It's like Laurel and Hardy running for president, vice president.
That guy's got some serious problems. He really does.
I agree.
Yeah, he's not right.
He will do some wacky stuff to the country.
He's not right. She's not right. She laughs at herself.
Yeah.
Where you going to put her in front of the leaders of Iran and stuff, and she's up there laughing at herself?
Well, she laughed at somebody when they said Jesus is.
You're at the wrong rally.
You're at the wrong rally. Go to the one that's empty down the street.
Yeah.
That right there, you just killed yourself.
She's awful. Yeah, I know. Well, you'd think.
Well, to us, she killed herself.
You'd think she would have torpedoed. Right. To those people, though, they love that because they're all.
But how can anyone in the Jewish community vote for that loser?
Yeah, they're indoctrinated.
You got to be a special kind of stupid.
Yeah, I guess you do.
To endure all the hate that you hate over the last couple of years under their administration and vote for that.
I agree.
Terrible.
Well, thanks for watching the Loaded Mic on Rumble, YouTube, any of our all of our networks, and you can also find our podcast. You can find the podcast on just about every podcast platform out there. I'm Dan Wass. Second Amendment is not a privilege; it's your right.